paid $100 each for these grain painted doors. What happens after I buy these doors is I need to put antique or new hinges on them. And in the case of some doors that we buy like these, they come with hinges, they come with hardware. Sometimes there's a bit of a mix. But in almost all cases, I have to build a jamb. And that's what you see here. This just happens to be a cherry jamb, but we can make the jambs out of anything. We're going to show you a few other doors in the house just to kind of refresh your memory a little bit. This particular set of door packages that I bought came with the trim and the rosettes. And these 3 doors in this space are all of that set. I didn't do anything to them. I basically took them out of the salvage yard with the same hinges and the same hardware and installed them in these jambs. That's the kind of thing that I think you're looking for. We've got some doors here that I think you were interested in, those Italianate doors. They're going to require a little bit of repair work. Some of the other doors here in the house we've done some repair work to, like this one over here. Here is a door that we converted into a pocket door. This door was incredibly rough and it took a little bit of work, but it was solid. So what I did is I didn't try to get all the paint off of it. I didn't try to make it perfect. I basically scraped it down, belt sanded it, put a little bit of epoxy in some of the cracks, tried to really keep the character. And I didn't bother with hinges, so I just hung it as a pocket door. And I used some commercial pocket door hardware that's around 140 to 160 bucks, I think, made by Johnson. And hangs well. We've got some pocket door hardware here that's pretty cool. Just pops right out. It latches right here in the side. Once again, we had to build jambs and a headpiece. This is the kind of stuff I thought you were interested in as well. This is what we call like a craftsman strip. So didn't have any trim for this door, any rosettes. So we just used a 1x4 piece of walnut, a little piece of American elm for a headpiece for the craftsman strip, and a walnut piece for the headpiece. Cherry threshold. It was a granary door or else a basement door in a building. So that's like a beaded white pine tongue and groove. And we took an old piece of hardware, an old latch, stuck it into an oak jamb, put some walnut trim around it, and it became the attic door for this space. So that was a lot of fun. That's a fun little interesting door. This is our linen closet door. Once again, I did nothing to this door besides put a porcelain doorknob on it. We made a jamb for it. This is a little bit simpler jamb. It's made for a 2x4 wall with 1/2-inch sheetrock on both sides, a very simple blind stop. We were lucky with this door and we got the old hardware, which was really nice stuff. But I didn't do anything to the door besides just cut it down a little bit to fit the opening. I actually got these out of a church in Keithsburg, Illinois. I just went and salvaged them. But all we did with these was just scrape the paint off. It took us about an hour and a half per side. Simple coat of oil. We built the jambs again. Got lucky with these though. I got the hardware, nice rim locks on the back side, nice porcelain knobs. Kept this one really simple as well. I just scraped down the rails. I just scraped down the rails and the stiles and the panels, left this part painted. Cleaned up the hardware a little bit, really nice little rim lock. It came with the door. A couple of really nice cast hinges from the 1850s, 1860s. Really hard to get that kind of stuff now. Sometimes we get lucky and the hardware is still on it, as we did in this case. We did a simple jamb with a simple rabbet at the top, made these out of oak. I really like these old doors. They've got full mortise and tenon joinery. It's not the kind of thing you can get at the store anymore. And a handmade door like this is certainly worth every bit. This is probably one of my most favorite doors I've ever found. Not sure where I found it, I can't remember, but it is an old, I think probably coal room door out of some old house that I probably worked on. But I love this deadbolt that came with it. And it's basically our broom closet in the kitchen. Nice porcelain knob, beautiful piece of hardware. We didn't do anything to this door but just wheelie brush it. We stuck it on a couple of old hinges that it had actually come with as well. Perfectly functional. And it's not even a mortise and tenon door, it's a tongue and grooved 1x6 with a crossbar on the back that's just screwed on, but really rustic and nice. This is really my favorite door. Maybe the two are kind of tied. This one I think is probably the most fun. because I didn't, this is one, once again, I did nothing to. I just kind of left the scratches on it. All I really did was wash it. But it's a really nice handmade door with a lot of detail. I like the fact that we've got a whole bunch of different doors in here. Unfortunately, it didn't come with hardware, so the rim lock and knob that I put on it are something that I just bought. I can usually pick these up for 25 bucks. Usually pick the knobs up for about $10. I did choose to put hinges on it from Restoration Hardware. So these are new hinges in a new jamb. And this is a little bit different jamb. This is something that's even simpler than what we use with that Craftsman strip. Just a couple of side pieces and a head piece. Really simple. These are just doors from the 30s. Had some white paint on them, so I painted them red. Once again, I hung them on some sliders. And they operate really nicely. Kept the trim pretty simple. These are built into a 2x4 curtain wall so that they slide inside the wall. They've got some latching hardware and opening hardware on them. The way this thing works is it just pops out, locks into the other door. But these doors are actually a lot more available even than more of these more interesting kind of unique ones. Because these are pretty simple dowel together doors.